You'd wake up Easter morning and there it was. An Easter basket at the foot of your bed or sitting on the kitchen table, overflowing with crinkly plastic grass in bright green or pink. Chocolate bunnies wrapped in foil, jelly beans in every color, marshmallow Peeps, yellow chicks or pink bunnies lined up in a row. Maybe a small toy tucked in, maybe a book. Your parents stood in the doorway or leaned against the counter, coffee mugs in hand, smiling as you dug through the basket, fingers already sticky with sugar. Then came the part you dreaded just a little, getting dressed. Your Sunday clothes, the ones that itched or pinched or felt too stiff. But it was Easter, and Easter meant dressing up, hunting for eggs, eating too much candy, and gathering around a table with family. If you were a kid in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, you remember. This video walks through what Easter really felt like back then, from waking up to baskets and candy, to getting dressed in your Sunday best, to hunting for eggs in the backyard, to big family meals and the slow, sleepy end of the day. Which part of Easter did you love most? The basket, the egg hunt, the candy, getting dressed up, or the big meal? Drop a comment and let me know. And if you enjoy trips back in time, hit that like button and subscribe. Easter morning started sweet, candy, baskets, excitement, but then your mom's voice would cut through it all. Okay, time to get ready, we're leaving in an hour. And just like that, the fun paused, because Easter meant dressing up, your Sunday best, the clothes you only wore a few times a year. For boys, that meant dress pants, a button-up shirt, maybe a clip-on tie that never sat quite right, shoes that pinched, hair combed with too much water or gel, slicked down so it wouldn't stick up. You'd tug at the collar, shift your weight in those stiff shoes, and try not to think about how uncomfortable everything felt. For girls, it was pastel dresses, pink, yellow, lavender, with lace or ruffles, tights that bunched at the ankles or sagged at the knees, shiny patent leather shoes that looked pretty but hurt after 10 minutes, maybe a little hat or a big bow clipped in your hair. Your mom would brush and rebrush until it was perfect, even though you'd be running around later and it'd all fall apart anyway. And then before you left the house, there was the photo. Your parents would line you and your siblings up by the front door or on the couch. Smile, hold still, just one more. You tried to smile, but you were already thinking about the egg hunt, about getting out of these clothes, about eating more candy. Today, you might just throw on something comfortable. But back then, Easter meant looking your absolute best, even if it meant being uncomfortable all morning. The baskets themselves were simple, wicker or plastic, filled with crinkly plastic grass that got everywhere, stuck to your clothes, tangled in your hair, scattered across the kitchen floor. But you didn't care, because the basket was magic. Inside, there'd be a chocolate bunny, solid or hollow, wrapped in shiny foil, ears begging to be bitten off first. Jelly beans in every flavor, some good, some terrible, all brightly colored. Marshmallow Peeps, those sugary pastel-coated chicks or bunnies that stuck to your teeth. Cadbury cream eggs with that thick, sweet filling. Reese's peanut butter eggs. M and MS in Easter colors. Foil-wrapped chocolate eggs that you'd peel open carefully, trying not to tear the wrapper. Sometimes there'd be a small toy, a stuffed animal, a coloring book, a little plastic egg that opened to reveal a tiny surprise inside, but mostly it was candy, so much candy. Your parents had rules, of course, just one piece before breakfast, but you'd sneak extras when they weren't looking. By mid-morning, your fingers were sticky, your mouth tasted like sugar, and you felt a little sick, but it was worth it. You'd compare baskets with your siblings. I got more jelly beans. Yeah, but I got the big bunny. Trading would happen, negotiating, sometimes arguments. But eventually, you'd settle in, rationing your candy, trying to make it last as long as possible, knowing full well it'd all be gone by the end of the week. Before social media made everything look perfect, baskets were often mismatched and homemade. But they felt perfect, because they were yours. The night before Easter, you dyed the eggs. Hard-boiled eggs dipped in cups of vinegar and food coloring, red, blue, yellow, green. The smell was sharp and chemical, but you didn't mind. You'd carefully lower each egg with a little wire dipper, watching the white shell turn bright and vivid. Some eggs came out streaked, some cracked, but they were yours and they were perfect. Easter morning after the baskets came the hunt. If the weather was good, it happened outside. Your parents would hide eggs in the backyard, tucked in flower beds, behind tree trunks under bushes, balanced on fence posts. Plastic eggs filled with candy or coins mixed in with the dyed ones. You'd grab your basket and run, scanning every corner, every shadow, every patch of grass. Older kids would move fast, snatching up the easy ones. Younger kids would wander, sometimes missing eggs that were right in front of them. Parents would hover, quietly nudging a toddler toward an egg they'd walked past 3 times. Look over there, by the tree. No, the other tree. If it rained, the hunt moved indoors. Eggs hidden behind couch cushions, under tables, on windowsills, inside shoes. The house would fill with the sound of kids running, laughing, calling out, "I found one." Little dramas would unfold. Someone crying because their sibling got more. Someone insisting an egg was theirs first. Parents mediating, redistributing, trying to keep the peace. Community hunts were different. Wide open fields, hundreds of kids, a starting whistle, chaos. You'd run as fast as you could, basket swinging, grabbing everything in sight. It was less about the eggs and more about the thrill, the race, the hunt itself. After the hunt, after the candy sugar rush started to fade, came the meal. Easter lunch or dinner, depending on your family, was a big deal. The table was set with the good plates, the ones that only came out for holidays. A tablecloth, maybe pastel or floral. A small centerpiece. A vase of spring flowers or a ceramic bunny someone's grandmother had kept for decades. The food was simple but filling. Ham, usually glazed and shiny, sliced thick, or a roast. Mashed potatoes, green beans or carrots. Rolls passed around the table, butter melting into the warm bread. Deviled eggs made from the ones that didn't get hidden. Salads, casseroles. Soda or juice poured into glasses, maybe wine for the adults. The adults talked. Work, family, church, who was getting married, who was sick, who'd said something funny last week. The kids swung their legs under the table, picking at their food, already full from candy, already restless in their stiff clothes. Can we be excused? Not yet. Wait till everyone's done. If you'd like a longer, deeper version of this story, tell me in the comments and write longer version. Now, let's keep going. After the meal, people lingered. Dessert came out, pies, cakes, more candy, coffee for the adults. Everyone moved to the living room, some settling into chairs, some stretching out on the couch. A few people would nap. Kids would quietly sneak more candy from their baskets. Today, a lot of people might grab something quick or eat out. But back then, Easter lunch felt like a small holiday in itself. A pause, a gathering, a moment when everyone was together. By late afternoon, the day was winding down. You'd change out of your Sunday clothes, finally, and into something comfortable. Jeans, a t-shirt, bare feet. The relief was instant. You go back to your basket, counting what was left, deciding which candy to eat next, trying to make it last. The TV would be on in the background. Sunday night shows, maybe a movie, nothing special, but it was always on. Your parents would be in the kitchen, packing away leftovers, washing dishes, talking quietly. The house would settle into a calm, sleepy rhythm. You'd feel it then, that strange mix of emotions, the sugar crash hitting, your feet tired from running around all day, a little sadness that Easter was over, a little anxiety that school or work would start again soon, but also a soft contentment, a fullness, not just from the food but from the day itself. Easter back then had a rhythm. It repeated every year. Same baskets, same candy, same egg hunts, same family gathered around the same table. And that repetition wasn't boring, it was comforting, it was tradition, it was home. The house would get quieter. Lights would turn off one by one. Your parents would check the doors, turn off the TV, head to bed. You'd lie there in the dark, stomach still a little too full, fingers still a little sticky, thinking about the day. the eggs you found, the candy you ate, the way your grandmother smiled when she saw you in your Easter clothes. And even though it was over, you knew it would come again next year. Same time, same traditions, same feeling. And somehow that made everything okay. That was Easter in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Getting dressed up, baskets full of candy, egg hunts in the backyard or the park, big family meals, and that slow, sleepy evening when it was all over. Simple traditions that repeated every year, and somehow that made them even more special. Tell me in the comments, what was your favorite part of Easter back then? The basket, the egg hunt, the candy, seeing family. And if you have a funny egg hunt story or a favorite candy memory, I'd love to hear it. If you want a longer, deeper version, just let me know.